It's Friday night. It's 7 p.m. That means it's time for the Paul and Nicky Show. The greatest show on earth. Yeah!
Yay! I am not Nicky Noo.
And I'm not Paul and well.
But this is
the wonderful, the awesome, the amazing, the fantastic
Paul and Nicky Show!
Yay! Welcome back.
Welcome back to this amazing special episode where, yes, we have finally arrived at the day when Nicky Noo receives the atomic pie face. So today we're not having a pie face challenge. We are just going straight over to the crushing, the outpouring of atomic pie face wrath upon Nicky for losing so many times. How do you feel about that, Nicky?
I feel great. Yeah, I feel really good. I'm really excited about it. Dan was texting me, telling me about all the things he's going to pour over me, and I just thought, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, we've got our assistant Dan with us today to help us in the obliteration of this. It's going to be a fantastic time. Anyway, so what have you been up to, Nick?
There we go. Just general stuff, really. Nice day trips out because the weather's been lovely, isn't it? But it's been too warm in a way. There was a couple of days it was just like, you don't want to do a thing, do you? Because it's just so hot. It just takes the energy out of you. But yeah, some nice day trips here and there and nice meals out and just sort of garden centres, that sort of thing. And yeah, nice little things like that. And you've had a nice holiday, haven't you? And,
I was in Tenby for a few days. It's a lovely Welsh seaside town. Highly recommend Tenby.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a lovely beach there. It almost feels like you're abroad, doesn't it? The beach is so gorgeous there.
I tell you what was there.
It's really nice.
Lots of jellyfish.
Oh wow, okay.
Tons of jellyfish in the sea.
Yeah,
so
it's quite clear there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very clear water. Loads of these kind of pink jellyfish bobbing around, and they can sting you apparently. They can be quite dangerous.
With jellyfish because there's so many different types, isn't there? Some really deadly ones. You have to be quite careful. Yeah.
And one part of the Welsh coast, it was literally the whole sea was pink because they were literally almost like shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, you didn't go in then, did you?
That was further on out, but a lot of them were being kind of swept in.
Right.
And so I saw 2 or 3 jellyfish, and there were quite a few who were dead on land.
They're such weird looking creatures, aren't they?
Space aliens, aren't they?
But anything like that is just so sort of like interesting and kind of
quite magical to
look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're hypnotic, really, aren't they? Just bobbing around in the water.
Yeah. Anything like that. But,
yes, I said to the boys, I said, be careful because they might be quite dangerous.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some jellyfish are the deadliest things in the world, aren't they? And others just sting you and put you in hospital, others not so. So I didn't know what they were. So I said to my boys, be careful with them. So one of them goes up and touches one. I touched it.
It's just a typical thing, isn't it? You tell the child, don't do this. So what do they want to do? They want to do it. Oh no.
Stay away from jellyfish.
Oh, did he say what it felt like? I suppose it's just going to be like kind of,
I don't know, like kind of
squishy
and rubbery.
What else is it? Yeah.
Yeah, bizarre looking things, but great. Anyway.
Okay, over to
Freaky Facts.
Freaky Facts.
Freaky Facts.
Dedicated to Mr. Pete.
Okay, Mr. Pete, we got some good freaky facts for you today. Nicky, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off.
In the crazy world of freaky facts.
So this is one your wonderful, lovely wife sent to me. She said, in medieval Germany, married couples...
Is it medieval or medieval?
Medieval.
Yes, medieval.
In medieval Germany, married couples could legally settle their disputes by fighting in a marital duel.
Oh, wow, that'd be cool. What, so like fisticuffs? Or is it like on a horse jousting?
Oh, carry on, hang on.
Okay, come on.
So it says, a professor at the University of Oklahoma, Kenneth Hodges, has found an old German manuscript complete with illustrations detailing the proper procedure and battle techniques for when husbands and wives have no choice but to have a trial by combat. More combat. This method of judgment was usually undertaken by men, but women weren't immune to participating. If a woman was accused of a crime and wanted her fate to be determined impartially, she could demand a trial by combat and designate a champion to fight in her place. In cases where women were fighting for themselves, their opponents appeared to be of course, their husbands, perhaps because the person she would normally choose as a champion is the person she's currently fighting. The process was the husband was placed in a hole that came up to his waist. Sarah thought you'd find this funny. And he was armed with a club.
Nice.
The wife would stand at the edge of the hole and she would be given a cloth with 4 or 5 pounds of stone in one end of it. His club and her sling were both the same length. Presumably the man was in the hole in an attempt to even out the playing field.
That's crazy.
It's weird, isn't it? I know.
This is just doing a pie face challenge sort of thing.
I was like, really? I did look it up because I thought, is she winding me up?
The thing is, if it was a swap and Sarah was stood in the hole, we wouldn't see her. You see the top of her head. I'd be clubbing it.
You wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, that's bizarre. So the man literally was in this hole and he couldn't move.
He couldn't. Well, he was in the hole. I don't know how big the hole was, but he couldn't come out the hole. He couldn't come out the hole.
So she could come forward, like whack him and just step back, and he's like swinging, just can't. That's ridiculous. It's a great concept, but that's ridiculous. I think they could do something like in modern day, maybe with virtual reality. Where if you want to settle marital disputes, put the VR on and kind of battle it out so nobody gets hurt.
That's a much better idea,
It'd be Mortal Kombat VR against your husband and wife. How awesome
might
is
end
that?
up breaking some things in the house though, because you're kind of in your own world, aren't you, with that on? You could end up like going forward and just sort of smashing cups or like the TV or something.
Do you think that ever actually happened though? I mean, I know it's a law, but...
What, on VR?
No, like back in the day. Do you think they ever actually did that?
I looked it up, and this is what it said online. I checked it out, you know, as well.
So you think some wives out there actually thought, yeah, it'd be a good idea to take my husband on?
I think some wives can be a bit funny like that sometimes if they, you know, if they're not very happy.
But some relationships, let's be honest, like the wife is bigger than the husband sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can imagine one of these big Brutus types women with this skinny little bald-in bloke. And he's down there in a little hole saying, "Oh, go easy on me, go easy on me, love." And he's like swinging his little club, and she's like smacking him with stones and a cloth.
The blokes deserved it. I don't know if they were like just really bad and stuff. Maybe they deserved it.
Do you think they deserved it, folks? Write it in the comment section. What do you think? What's your opinion on man versus woman?
It does sound a bit weird, though, doesn't it?
In a fighting pit, right?
Oh, it's just weird.
Okay, I got a freaky fact.
Yeah.
Did you know that those fresh apples that you see at the supermarket, they're usually picked between August and November?
Yeah.
And then they're covered in wax.
Yeah, and then they're left.
For nearly a year.
A long time, yeah, I read that one, yeah. I've read so many freaky facts.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
So they're covered in wax, they're hot air dried and sent into cold storage.
I know.
And after 6 to 12 months, they finally arrive on our grocery shelf. So those fresh apples, folks, they're not actually fresh. They could be a year old.
Yeah.
Not so good.
But I mean, they taste fine, don't they? So.
But you can tell the difference because we used to have an apple tree where we lived.
Yes, oh, you did.
And when you have a fresh apple and you bite into it,
it's much
so
tastier,
strong,
much tastier.
And then the ones you get from the supermarket, you can bite into them. Sometimes there's no flavour.
I know, and actually, it's not great in that respect, is it? But no, definitely, you can tell the difference. I'd agree with that. Cool. Okay, next freaky fact is the first king of England made a law that everyone had to be in bed by 8 p.m.
That sucks. I'm not usually in bed by about 1. 8.
So I don't know quite how. That was back, he was ruling from 1925 to 1939 AD.
Right, you'd be awake at 4 or 5 o'clock every morning, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't be able to get a thing done. If I had to be in bed by that time, I would not be able to get a thing done in the evening. It would just, the house would be an absolute tip. You know, it'd just be like, really? How could you even...
Dark.
Yeah, I know. That's just weird, isn't it? It's strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, what a strange...
What time do you usually go to bed?
Oh, don't ask, Paul. Not a good time. Not good. By the time sorted everything, Josh is in bed, and then we've cleaned up and toys and everything else.
Your alarm's going off to wake up.
It's generally, yes, how did you know? But it's not early, generally, it's not early.
Did you know that Princeton researchers Ernest Weaver and Charles Bray, this is a bit of a gruesome freaky fact, took out a cat's skull and most of its brain to connect the animal to electricity.
Oh, no.
When they spoke into the cat's ear,
That's horrible.
when they spoke into the cat's ear, the sound could be heard through a phone receiver in another room. The twisted experiment paved the way for cochlear implant developments.
Oh, right.
In people, so deaf people could hear, but you can actually
not very
use a
nice
cat's
for a
skull
cat.
as a telephone.
Yeah, I don't think you should be advertising that, Paul. Somehow, to be fair, that's just no, you can't.
So for our viewers, give it a go and write in and tell us.
Give it a go. Do not
the RSPCA on our tails.
Yes, do not.
But
give it
isn't
a
that
go.
bizarre? Yeah, that somebody would even think of doing that.
I mean, I couldn't do it personally. I couldn't.
I hope not.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, but they did, and it
People
worked.
have do these experiments, don't they, to test things, but I'm too much of a softie, I'm afraid.
They should have just got a couple of like paper cups and put a hole in it and a piece of string and tie it and spoke to each other through that.
Yeah, why couldn't they just do that?
Just do that instead of a cat skull.
Yeah.
Some people. Unbelievable.
Some people. All right, Alan.
Okay.
Some people. Okay, apparently, which was, oh, this is interesting. Hang on a minute. Yes, London was the first city in the entire world to have an underground subway system. Opened in 1863, Metropolitan Railway between Paddington and Farringdon was the first urban underground railway in the world, 158 years ago, roughly.
Wow, we've done quite a bit
I
of
was
that.
just thinking that's interesting because we go to London, don't we? And it's
Mind the gap.
yeah.
Mind the gap.
Do you remember that girl who got on there really, really quickly? She was in a rush and the doors were just shutting and her phone dropped and fell down the gap.
She kind of jumped on, didn't she, and caught her hand on the door?
Or something.
And the phone flipped out, went down in the gap, and she was saying a few profanities on the tube, wasn't she?
She was, but...
And the other time as well, when we went to the tube station, and I jumped on, and you were just about literally 2 seconds behind me, and you were going to jump on, and the door shut.
And I got stuck there.
And it was like we'd only been to London once or twice, I think.
I know, and I wasn't very familiar with it all. I was like,
I know. And I was saying to
to
Nicky, I said, meet me at the next station, like jump on the next one, meet me at the next station. And Nicky was like, meet me here.
I was, because I'm not moving from this spot.
So I jumped off, I jumped off the next station and waited for the next train. Nicky wasn't on it, and the next train, Nicky wasn't on it. I thought, where is she? And like, a few trains went by. And in the end I thought, wow, maybe she's waiting for me back at the place. So I jumped on the next train back, and Nicky had gone. And I thought, oh no.
I waited there, but I waited down below for quite a while, and then I thought, I don't know, this seems to be taking a while. I just don't know what to do. Where is he? He's not
Piccadilly
here.
Circus, wasn't it?
And then I found this really nice chap who kind of helped me out, and he waited with me, and he said, don't worry, I'll help you out and wait with you until you can find your friend. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah. And you can't call each other because there's no signal underground.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I tried calling and stuff, and it was just like, I just don't want to go on a train, get lost somewhere, and then make it even worse. So my thing was just stay put.
But we got to witness to him about the Lord.
We did.
Yeah.
And he's a lovely bloke. I was very fortunate
great
to
opportunity
bump into him, so that was really good. Yeah.
So mind the gap, folks. And if in doubt, don't board.
Swiftly.
Okay, one more freaky fact from me then.
Okay, yeah.
There are a lot of weird facts out there, but how many of them involve the word choice?
Okay.
Choice. That makes no sense. In Scotland, yes, there are more than 400 words for snow. There are in fact 421 words for snow in Scotland.
Oh, right. Why is that then?
I don't know. Why would you want to have more than one or two names for snow?
Why do you need to complicate
421, folks.
Oh, right.
For snow.
Have we got any or not?
Snow.
Just snow. Just snow. Snowflake.
Cold
snow.
Precipitation.
Fluffy dust stuff.
Fluffy dust frost.
It's just fluffy dust. It doesn't hurt. It's just fluffy dust.
That's fine. Are you all factored out? I guess you are.
Yeah, I have. Well, I do have another one. If you want another one, I don't know. I think we should move on.
Yeah, I think we should move on. I think the greatest freaky fact of all, though, was the Mortal Kombat between husband and wife.
I think so. Well done, Sarah.
Yeah,
that was very interesting. Well done. She knew you'd like that. So there you go.
Are we going to go over to your...
So we're going to go into Games of Insanity.
Games of Insanity.
The Games of Insanity.
This should be really interesting because I looked this up on YouTube and it just looked really fun. I don't quite know. I haven't practiced it or anything, so I don't know how it's going to work. But what you have to do is, the rules are, so you have we both have a little pot here with smeared in wonderful Vaseline. And then we have another one here and we have our cotton wool balls as well.
Okay.
And then there's your one.
Yep.
And what we have to do is, so if we put that like that, and then you've got your other one there as well, put that there. You have to dip your nose on the Vaseline, then dip it on the ball, take the ball and put it in there, and whoever can get the most in there in 60 seconds, the famous 60 seconds wins.
Okay, so
it just comes off. Apparently they were doing this and it just sort of
just falls off.
I haven't practiced it, so I have no idea how it works.
We'll see about that. Let's have a look. Let's put the timer on then.
If you need to move them up, that's fine. When you get the cotton wool ball, you can't obviously pick it up with your hands.
Yeah.
But if you need to hold this still, that's fine. And you need to move a ball up, you can do that. But you just can't touch it, So here we go. And you can, if you want, just move that up like that. You don't have to go
lift it up.
Yeah, you can lift it up and then just sort of do that. That's fine.
In the words of Jason Scott Lee, I'll beat any man in this room in 60 seconds. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Very nice, I know that much.
Maybe you can't pull it off, you just gotta let it drop.
Very nice for the rest of the show. We've done any yet? We've done quite a few.
Okay.
Good. Come on. Alright, 5 more seconds.
Oh no, quick!
And that's time.
Yeah!
You done quite well.
You did quite well.
That looks so gross.
So
Alright, so look.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay!
Whoa, well done. Okay, let's have a look. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh no!
9.
Managed that.
10.
Oh, that's quite good though, actually, wasn't it? To be fair,
That was a good game, but
even
I feel very greasy
it's
now.
like,
Yeah. So,
I just rubbed it back on my
shiny nose. That was a good game,
I
though.
didn't think that was going to work initially because you put your nose in it and it's just like, it's not doing it. You had to do quite a dollop, didn't you?
It was.
Oh, that's good. That was funny.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game.
Probably got fluff on our noses though.
Probably. Okay, we've got a few jokes going on here. We're just going to deliver some of these. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. Oh, dear. It's really tickly and slimy. Tickly and slimy. Right. 2 antennas got married last Saturday. The reception was fantastic. You got great. You got fantastic. You got the same joke.
I got the same.
How bizarre is that?
Oh, wouldn't it be funny if they were all the same? Yeah, that one there.
No, that's the only one that's the same.
That's the only one. Oh, that's good then. Okay. Good joke though.
Good joke.
Okay, my boss says I have a preoccupation with vengeance.
Oh.
We'll see about that.
Oh. Writing with a dull pencil is pointless.
Forget about it. Yeah. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad.
Yes, that's nice, that's true. That's true enough. No matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be Stationary.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Why does it take pirates so long to learn the alphabet?
Ooh. Something to do with R.
Because they could spend years at sea.
Oh, sea.
At sea.
I thought it was going to be like...
Letter C.
Because they're always saying R.
No, because I suppose if they stop at sea. They
Yeah, no, that's a great... I mean, it could be either. I mean...
Could be. Wow.
We've just created a joke with 2 punchlines.
I suppose so, but then mine was better.
Because they're forever saying R.
Yeah,
yours is
true.
like they're always at sea.
But then ours quite far along in the alphabet, much further than C.
Yeah, but still can't finish it, can they?
No, but it's still not as far.
What was the final letter ever added to the English alphabet? Do you know this?
Z.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's Z. It's not. It's J. J.
What?
J is the last
Mr. J?
letter to be added to the English alphabet.
Okay, why is that then?
I don't know.
How do they?
I
why
remember
would
that from a freaky fact that I read.
Really? And why? Can you remember why then? Because it's not obviously the last letter. It's not.
It might be because a lot of English came from Latin, and so I wasn't always a J was always an I.
Right.
And I guess in modern day they kind of had I, and then they had an extra letter of J.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I still got stuff on my nose. You seem to.
Well, I feel like really kind of
paranoid.
I know. I like red and
I
shiny.
got really crazy nose. Oh, okay.
Yeah, J was the last letter apparently. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I was just going to say, isn't it funny the things that when we look this stuff up, you remember from it? It's quite interesting. The
You
little
do
facts
remember some. I'm not ever going to forget the man in the hole beating his wife.
Yeah,
at the club
no, definitely
kind of
not. You
fact. That's a
can't
real
forget
fact,
that. No. Okay, well, I couldn't do my last joke because you stole it. So.
Oh, what was it?
But yeah, the antenna.
The antenna.
I can't say it. Antenna.
Had a great reception.
Yeah.
We're going over now to
Holy Ghost gossip.
Holy
Ghost gossip.
Okay, so subject today is what do you think are the main reasons, what do you think the main reasons people reject God? Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've kind of made a list here, and a couple of the things I suppose I put fear, rejection of fellow man, because I think a lot of people, when the subject of God comes up, because society is forever trying to push God out of the equation of things, it's that fear factor of kind of being, I don't want to look like the sort of odd one out here. I want to follow the crowd. I don't want to look like, what, you believe in God? Because a lot of people, that is the way these days, unfortunately, they sort of almost, years ago, you used to sing hymns and that. I remember singing hymns in primary school and there was a lot to do with God in schools. Now, you don't really get so much of that. I'm sure there still is, hopefully, in a lot of these CV places and that, and certain schools. But it's almost like you're the odd one out for believing in God these days. So I would say one of the things is rejection of fellow man. I'd say pride as well, because that whole thing once again of, don't be silly. How can you believe in something you don't see? There's that whole thing these days, unless you can see it for yourself, unless the scientists have said, it's definitely there, then that's that. And so a lot of people, of course, poo-poo it and sort of speak about it's all just evolution, and that there was no kind of starting point for that evolution, if you like, no kind of intelligent design out, it just happened. I would say pride as well comes into it, and perhaps not wanting to be accountable.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people, you just want to be free and live their life how they want to live. They don't want to have consequences for things that they know are wrong and things that, aren't morally right. So I'd say, not wanting to be accountable. Not sort of, I suppose, like I said, going with the following the crowd, not wanting to stand out, because it's that whole kind of, for some people, an embarrassment thing. I remember certain jobs I worked at before, and I'd speak about God a lot, and you'd see the some people's faces kind of cringe in a way, and almost be like quite embarrassed and sort of like, why are we talking like this for? Because it's been a lot for a lot of people these days. It's quite out of the ordinary, unfortunately. Because, you know, they're so used to just talking about day-to-day basis things like football and
because church
weather and
God used to be the norm for this country. You were considered odd if you didn't go to church, and now it's kind of...
It's flipped round, isn't it? It's totally changed, and it's such a shame. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that are very receptive when you speak to them about God, and you know, it's great and you can have a brilliant conversation. But there are also a lot of people, I think it's that fear factor thing, you know, we don't want to mention this because it kind of unsettles people. But that's interesting why it unsettles people so much.
Yeah.
So,
if I think back, because I became a Christian when I was 16, before that I didn't know anything about God. I was in a family that wasn't necessarily... I say they're atheists, but they weren't even atheists. They just didn't even talk about God.
No.
Just didn't come up. It just wasn't... Never talked about it. It just wasn't anything on the table, really. If you had asked me then, did I believe in God? I'd have said, well, maybe not. Maybe there was somebody out there. But the thing that would have put me off of going to church was the fact that in my perception... it was something very, very uncool. Yeah. My only perception of church was when I was very, very young, I went to a church called St. Catherine's Church, which was like a Church of England, and it's full of old ladies, smelt of like mothballs, charity shops.
Your favourite places.
And there was this father there, and he had like this big ginger hair, big beard, and it was just really uncool. The church looked uncool. The minister was uncool. They were kind of odd people, and there was just absolutely nothing that, as a teenage boy, I'd look at and go, "Yeah, I want to be a part of that." And so, for me, it wasn't so much a rejection of God; it was a rejection of Christianity, because Christianity was something that I saw that only old ladies. And odd people got involved with. And it wasn't until I was in my 16th year that I came across a few younger Christians who were quite cool, and I thought, well, how can they be a Christian and dress well and have like Nike trainers and like have a nice kind of Ralph Lauren t-shirt? And how can they be followers of God? And it was that, in a sense, not only that, but it was that kind of changed my mind a little bit, thinking actually I can believe in God and not be ashamed of believing in God, because I don't have to be associated with like what you see on songs of praise. So for me, that was a real, I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, that was probably a massive stumbling block for me, was how the church represented itself.
I agree with that, yeah.
Whereas Clearspring, we're quite a cool church.
It is a cool church, yeah. We dress well, we look good.
Some of us do. Some of us dress well. Ooh, I'm not saying you don't. Oh, wow, paranoia.
No, you're kind of insinuating that. No, I'm only joking.
I'm only joking. But no, we belong to a church that's pretty cool and really nice people, and they dress well, and it's not all kind of old and fuddy-duddy. It's modern and it's hip and it's trendy. And I think that's really important that we,
I agree,
as the church, we stay in step with society and not kind of get stuck back in the 1980s or even worse, like the 1700s. But we stay relevant in that sort of respect.
And don't disassociate yourselves with others that aren't Christian, because you get that in some churches as well, don't they? They won't sort of hang around with anyone else who isn't Christian, but then how are you ever going to be able to reach anyone and, you know, for God? So
Jesus hung around with all kinds of people, right?
And I think I love that thing you said a while ago about when you said about how you kind of felt that you had to initiate. I think this was you who said this, give a lot of things up, like with your martial arts. And I understand, I remember, because I was very similar. I loved my martial arts like you. Probably not as much, but I did really love it. And I used to go like twice a week and everything else. And I couldn't get enough of it at the time. But I remember you saying you had to kind of back off it a bit because it was perhaps getting too much. But it wasn't that God was saying you can't do these things, because he's made you like that. He's made you have a love for martial arts and fighting and all that sort of stuff. But it's just, where are you at with it is God has to be first, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the whole point of it.
And God wasn't first, martial arts was first. And so I had to kind of back off of that and then put God first. And really, it's the most exciting life, because when you walk in step with God's will, God has always got an adventure for you. And I think sometimes the church doesn't preach that enough.
No, I agree, yeah.
That it's an adventurous life.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the things that you and me have done.
It's good.
If we weren't followers of God, we'd be stuck in a job, a 9-to-5 job, just
doing the normal everyday
eking out life, right?
Yeah,
but we've been all over the place, been on television, interviewing interesting people, going out in the streets, talking, seeing miracles. Definitely. And really, when you do put God first, it's an incredible life. It's exciting. And we've done more in our few years than what most people do in an entire lifetime. So,
and you're still you, and I'm still me. It's just that we still have our, I'm still sort of nutty Nicky and stuff, but it's just you're regenerated on the inside. You're totally changed, aren't you? Transformed by God. So and it's great because, like you just said, He totally changes your whole life for the better. Anyway, and it's amazing. You wouldn't want to change it for the world, would you?
So always put God first and trust in Jesus Christ's death, burial and resurrection for your forgiveness. And if you do this on a daily basis, you're going to have a very adventurous and very exciting life. I guarantee that.
Amen.
Now we're going over to, I would say it's the Pie Face Challenge, but it's not the Pie Face Challenge. It is Judgment time. Judgment Day upon Nicky Noo for, shall we say, not coming up to scratch on the Pie Face Challenge.
Dan was my friend, but Dan's been texting me about how excited he is at helping poor Pie Me. So, Dan, I'm just not happy right now, Dan. Okay, you've kind of moved down a notch again, Dan. You need to move back up again.
We're going over now to the Atomic Pie Face Judgment Day. So here we go.
All right.
Okay, so here we are. Here's Dan. He's going to be the one concocting the Atomic Pie Face. What's going in it today, Dan?
We got mushy peas.
Okay, so we've got mushy peas going in there first of all.
Shush.
They don't want to come out, but they're going to come. There they are. There's the mushy peas going into the Atomic Pie. What else we got going in there, Dan?
2 scoops of jelly.
2 scoops of jelly. Lovely.
Nice and green.
Okay, nice and green. We're going for the green atomic look. Oh, he's stirring it up. Jelly and mushy peas. Look at that. Okay, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. What else we got going in there?
Let's go with some custard.
Okay, some custard is going in there. Look at, oh, gorgeous.
Yep.
Give it a stir. Give it a stir.
I will.
Well, that stinks. That smells already. That smells so bad. There we go. There's Nicky already getting ready for it. What we got coming in next?
Nice mint sauce, Tesco brand, super expensive.
Look at that, she's going to be smelling like a Sunday roast.
Funny enough, that's what we're going for afterwards.
Alright, so that's going in there. Let's stir that in. Oh,
Get more.
Get it all out, go on. Stir it in. Oh, gorgeous. That reeks. Okay, what we got going in next? We've got some marshmallows.
Oh, waste of marshmallows. Would you like one, Paul?
I'll go for one there.
Yeah.
Nom 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 nom.
Oh.
Steve? No.
Alright.
Bang them in there.
Waste some marshmallows, but
I won't say it's a waste, Dan. That stinks. That is nasty. There we go, let's put those two in as well. Mix it in, that's it. Lovely stuff. This is so thick, I'm not even sure it's going to come out. Oh, get deep. There we are. Ugh, nasty. What else we got going in?
we got some glacé cherries here.
And they go on last, don't they? After the cream.
Ooh,
they top the pie, don't they?
Well, we put the cream on at the end, followed by the cherries.
Okay, bang some cherries in there then.
Alright.
Gonna leave one just to go on top of the cream, I think.
Yeah, sure.
This is the atomic pie, folks. There we go. Oh, gross. There you go. Let's get a different angle of the atomic pie. Stir it in. Stir it in. Get in there. Make the magic happen. Alright, here we are.
And I think we'll be back when Nicky's ready. I'm Dan Cratchley, this is Paul Linden, and this is Nicky Noo, and this is the pie face, the atomic pie face.
Do a countdown to this?
Yeah, the atomic pie face challenge.
Okay, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pie facer! Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Try and get it all in there. Good for the hair, apparently. Back of the neck, that's it.
Oh!
We've got another couple of pies there, I see there, Dan.
Oh, have we now?
Have we?
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh wow,
good for your
that
hair.
is disgusting.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to do one either side.
Really? Oh, come on there.
The joke, you get more right.
What side are you, Dan?
Okay,
You first.
5, 4. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Not a chance, Scratch. Put the cherry on top. Wait for the cherry. Wait for the cherry. There it is. Yay!
Oh, Nick. Gets worse, gets better. Get the feet. Go, 7 minutes. No one said anything about it's not to you, baby.
We are done.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. We hope you liked it. Now, what would be really nice is if you would subscribe to our channel and told all your friends about us. This would advertise our show for free. And it would be really nice if you could do that for me. The Paul and Nicky Show, the greatest show on earth. Woohoo!